Hi, I'm Mahesh Jayaram. This is the Ask the Expert series. My AMH is low. Does it automatically mean that I can't conceive naturally? Quite the opposite. In fact, we find that when women come to us with low AMH and they've been threatened, or they feel very worried, they must rush into IVF because the AMH is low. It's quite the opposite. Work on your foundations, work on your sleep, on your stress, your diet, and many times if your fallopian tubes are open, you can conceive naturally with low AMH. The lowest AMH on record that I can remember for a patient who conceived with us naturally is 0.2, and that many doctors will tell you is really low. So don't let low AMH scare you. Remember, AMH is a small part of a large puzzle. It only tells us how many eggs you may have left. It doesn't tell us about the quality of those eggs. It doesn't tell us about whether or not you can be a mother naturally. What's the biggest misconception that women have about fertility after the age of 35? So I'd say it's a double-edged misconception. One misconception is that, oh my God, I'm 35, my clock has ticked over and I have low fertility potential. That's absolutely not true. No two people are alike. So at 35, you could have the ovaries of a 28-year-old, or at 35, you could really have the biological health of a 43-year-old. So neither is true. So when I say it's a double-edged misconception, unfortunately, people also hear about celebrities who conceive at the age of 42, and they believe 35 means they still have 7 years left. So neither is actually true. What you are inside as your biological age is what truly matters. Is egg freezing really worth it? Who should do it, and does it need any prep? I do believe that egg freezing is absolutely worth it. It's one of the amazing marvels of this century. Any woman who's not yet sure about when she wants to have children, but is reasonably sure that she will want to have children, so she may have not found her partner or completely settled in her career or whatever her life goals are, should seriously consider egg freezing. In egg freezing, you're given a few injections that help to grow multiple eggs in one go. Those are then extracted and they are frozen and kept. The technology has reached a stage where we can thaw out those eggs even 20 years after they've been originally taken out from you without any loss of quality. So it's a fantastic enabling provision for women, and anybody who's satisfies the criteria I spoke about should think about egg freezing. I'm planning IVF or trying naturally. When should I ideally start preparing my body? The short answer is at least 90 days before you're expecting to either try naturally or go in for an IVF cycle. The reason is that an egg actually begins its life. The egg that's going to be fertilized by the sperm and form the embryo which will eventually become your baby, that starts life 210 days before you actually conceive. So the cycle from what we call a primordial follicle, which is so small, it's hardly a hair's breadth wide, from there to it actually releasing an egg is a journey of 210 days. Out of that, most women only see the last 14 days, even if you do an IUI cycle. So the doctor follows your egg, rather the follicle, from a size of about 2 to 4 millimeters, which is called an antral follicle, all the way to 16 to 30 millimeters, which is a dominant follicle, which is when it has matured and is ready to release that egg. But as you can see, that's only tracking 14 days of an otherwise 210-day journey. So starting at least 90 days before ensures that crucial stages of maturation of that egg you can prepare for. You can correct your diet, you can correct your sleep patterns, you can introduce movement and healthy habits to your life and make a positive impact to the environment in which the 90 days of growth is going to happen. So at least 90 days for all planned parenthood. There are so many fertility supplements out there. Do any of them really work? Short answer, yes, they do. However, if you're expecting the same level of evidence as is going to be for pharmaceutical medicines, the injection that a doctor would give you in IVF, the answer is no. So this is what we call a nuanced answer. So the egg doesn't grow in a test tube, it grows inside you. So identifying what are the gaps that you might have inside you. So it could be insulin resistance, it could be a thyroid gland that's not working really well, you may not be digesting or absorbing protein well, you may not be sleeping, leading to higher amount of stress hormones. These are all important things that you can truly fix. So that's the way to actually think about it, and supplements can be a huge help in this process. So we are still waiting for absolutely solid pharma level evidence. Supplements can certainly help you, provided you identify the correct ones that your body needs and then you give it that for the right duration at the right dose. What exactly is NAD plus and why has it become such an important topic in healthy aging? So NAD plus is a molecule that is naturally made inside our cells. It's something that supports proper energy production, and therefore when energy is sufficient, all the cells do their function well. So NAD plus is become very important in all things concerned with aging, because we find that this molecule goes down as we age. So it's very important in fertility as well, and therefore there is a lot of buzz around NAD plus. All your cells have this beautiful little engine called mitochondria, which is where energy is produced, and NAD plus is one of the crucial components that can support good mitochondrial health. Can lifestyle really make a difference to fertility, or is it mostly determined by age and genetics? Fantastic question. So age and genetics are think of it as you're at a card game. Age and genetics is basically what you were dealt with as a set of cards when you begin with, that's your genetics, and how long you've been playing is basically your age. But how you play that same set of cards is entirely in your hands. So yes, age and genetics are major factors that can influence your ability to conceive, your egg quality, etc. But they are very much in your power to influence. So correcting your diet, your lifestyle, I sound like a broken record, but these foundational things can make a huge difference to how you play that hand of cards that you are dealt and to that final fertility outcome. I'm 38. Is it already too late for me to improve my chances of having a baby? Absolutely not. The average age in my clinic at least is 38. People often have other life priorities, so they come to you at a stage when their career is settled, they found the right person, and now they feel mentally prepared to actually have a child. Because your biological age is 38 doesn't mean, meaning you've spent 38 years on the planet, doesn't mean that internally everything is 38. So we are surprised pleasantly many times. 38-year-olds can look more like 32 or 33 when we run their tests for fertility. At the same time, we do get even 32-year-olds who are struggling to even have a proper period, let alone ovulation. So 38 is not late for you. It's in fact the age when you should be identifying any gaps that you might have in your fertility and make sure that you fill them. Start with the foundation, make sure you're sleeping well, make sure you're eating clean, make sure you're digesting and eliminating well, and make sure your stress is under control. With that layer of the pyramid set, fill the next layer with whatever supplements truly your body needs, so that that age gap where you're trying a little later, that can be filled comfortably and you're in the best fertility that you can have at 38. If you could give women trying to conceive just one piece of advice, what would it be? Well, stop stressing out. I know it's easier said than done because fertility itself begins to give us stress. Everybody around us is having kids. You have a life book that says you must plan for Montessori by next year, and you're trying to bring all of that artificial pressure on yourself. Unfortunately, your body responds to how your mind thinks. So when you're highly stressed, you're going to produce adrenaline, noradrenaline, which is a fight or flight state chemical, which itself is not conducive to fertility. So I know this is easier said than done, but find a way to have a healthy relationship with your fertility journey. Don't burden it with too many expectations too fast. Besides supplements, what are the biggest factors that influence egg quality? It is the body in which the egg grows. So again, this is something that holistic medicine or functional medicine looks at. An egg doesn't grow in isolation. It's not growing inside a test tube inside a lab. It's growing inside your body. And if that body is not getting the right food, if it's not getting the right nutrients, if it's not digesting well, if it's irritated, if your sleep is disturbed, then it's going to affect every single cell that's in that body, and it's going to affect the environment in which your egg grows. So 100%, the foundation is always the basics. Eat healthy food, eat it at the right time, chew your food well, make sure you're absorbing nutrition, eliminating waste well, make sure that you have stress under control, make sure you're filling any nutrient gaps that you have. This is the absolute foundation of what you need to do. Can egg quality actually be improved, or is it fixed once we are born? The answer is absolutely it can be improved. The science used to believe that the number of eggs that you have was fixed from not just the moment you were born, but from the time when your mother was a baby in her mother's womb. That's what we used to believe in science. Now we are beginning to see that even this may not be true. Egg numbers may just be possible to actually improve even later in life. This is very early science. I just read it a couple of days back in a research paper. But egg quality, 100% it can be improved at any age. That has been our experience. So people who come to us often have failed rounds of IVF, cancelled rounds of IVF because egg quality couldn't really, quality of eggs that they pulled out wasn't good enough to take it up to an embryo stage. Once they work on these foundations, once they give their body the 90 days that it needs for it to prepare, we've seen not just the egg quality improve, the evidence of that, if the kid was here, he'd be running around this room. So we have babies who are 3 years old and from mothers who were told their egg quality is not good enough. So 100% first-hand egg quality improves. Can any supplement reliably increase AMH? Bad news, I have not found it yet. Nothing improves AMH once it has declined. I've seen some transient increases in some cases. But guess what? This has a huge silver lining. AMH is just one small part of a giant puzzle called fertility. And there are many things in your control that you can improve, which can lead you to conceive and have a healthy baby despite having a low AMH. We have had women at AMH 0.8, 0.4, the latest lowest 0.2 conceive and have healthy babies. So don't fuss with the number, don't obsess with AMH, don't go with only what social media is telling you. AMH is one part of the puzzle. What matters is the whole person, how fertile they are and how their health is. That has a far greater influence on whether you're going to actually conceive and have a healthy baby. Everybody keeps talking about mitochondria and egg quality. What's the connection? Well, the connection is that every cell has mitochondria, which is the energy engine of the human body. That's where this molecule called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is created. Because every cell has the number of mitochondria for its energy needs. For example, the heart that beats 24 hours around the clock, cardiomyocytes as we call them, the cells of the heart have huge clusters of mitochondria. They're very, very mitochondria rich. Eggs in the human body are among the highest number of mitochondria containing cells. This is because to create a new life, it takes energy. The cell begins to divide. That process of dividing must happen without any mistakes. DNAs have to be broken apart and strands created. All this is a very energy intensive process. So mitochondria is deeply connected to egg health and egg quality, which is why supplements like coenzyme Q10, NMN, etc., which promise to help with mitochondrial health and energy production, are showing so much promise. Preventive health versus reactive health, right? So the problem with modern medicine is that it's beautiful, it's scientific. If it were truly taught the right way, it would actually begin with prevention. And that's how the old world doctors used to work. I'm old enough to know a time when there used to be a doctor-compounder model, which means you went to the regular GP, which was somebody who probably knew you from birth. He knew that you had a tendency to catch cold from childhood. He knew that you get stressed around exams. He knew that milk doesn't suit you and so on. And he would not give you standard medicine. He would not write a paracetamol 350 milligrams. He would write the salts which his compounder would then compound for you right then and put it into little white sachets and give it to you. Then you take one in the morning, you take one in the afternoon. So the doctor compounder model was true preventive medicine many times. I remember going to a GP childhood home in Chennai, where every year before the rains we'd go to the doc, and doc would give us some vitamin C and make sure that we didn't catch a cold when the rains came. But that model didn't survive because a lot of medicine in the West became insurance driven, and when a third party has to pay your medical bills, it's always going to be conditions apply. So there's a star there, and that star basically says, I'll only pay if you're truly unwell. I'll not pay to prevent disease. I'll pay when you have a real disease. And so there is something called the DSM, which is a code which works in the US, and then the US market sets the standard for everybody else. So even the normal ranges in your printed blood reports, let's say you get a blood test from Thyrocare or Lal Path Labs or any of the big guys, when it says normal range, let's say of D3 is from 30 to 100 and yours is 31 or 29, do you think at 29 you somehow become unwell and at 31 you've become fantastically healthy? So it's not a preventive range, it's a range set by insurance. If a doctor writes D3 for you in an insurance driven market, it has to be less than 30. So 29 he can write the D3 for you, at 31 he can't. That's essentially how medicine has become more and more focused on disease, because the people who call the shots financially eventually call the shots on everything. Preventive health is all about catching it before it happens. So for example, on the same D3, for us, preventative medicine means for you to peak perform with enough D3 for your cells at the nuclear level. 60 is the target that we look at, right? After COVID, a lot of these labs have suddenly changed their normalcy values. So now it's not, it used to be even 10 to 100 everything is normal. Now it's at least gone up to 30 to 100. But at 60, you can often see a big difference in your immunity, in your energy levels, etc. So preventive health is something that's not institutionalized yet. You have to read a little bit yourself, you need to be self-aware, and that's how you start doing it. So one of the cases that stands out for me big time, especially at Sepalika Fertility Clinic, is a lady who came to us. She was 39 at the time. She was really desperate because they had been trying for the last 13 years. She had done 9 rounds of IVF across 3 large chains, won't name them, but crazy amount of hormones she had been pumped with, everything, but she was simply not able to conceive. And when she came to us, we used a functional medicine approach to look at her thyroid numbers, not her TSH, but something called free T3, which is the form of the thyroid hormone that your cells can really use. So we made sure that her free T3 levels, which were suboptimal, again, they looked fine in the normal printed ranges, but it was suboptimal. And she had a form of thyroid disease called autoimmune thyroid, which her doctor had not even detected yet. She was just being given thyroid medicine at T4, which was not becoming T3. Cells were starved for energy. We fixed her underlying autoimmunity. We gave her the right form of thyroid hormone, which was T3, for her, and she conceived. And we couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it, but that's the magic of science. If you apply it, it works. She conceived, healthy baby boy. She's come on camera, so we've got lovely pictures of the family. But here's the icing on the cake for me. 3 years later, she conceived a second time. This time not even having to work with us. She just followed the same principles again, slept right, took the right thyroid medication. Second child, baby girl, first was a baby boy. They're very happy, their family is complete. So that's a case that I often go back to when I think of the power of foundational health or functional medicine.